Olivia Moses, and thank you so much for joining me today for Colorful Cooking. This is the show where we try to get every single color of the rainbow on our plate, because when we have more colors, we have more nutrition and we have better health. So today I have a very exciting recipe for you going on, and we have all kinds of things on this counter and we're going to put something together. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit about our very special ingredient that's going to be showing up today, and that is turmeric. I know some of you might be thinking, turmeric, that's kind of a weird thing to have for a breakfast item, because we're doing a breakfast item. But today we're actually doing tofu scramble. So any of you who have turned vegan, or if you are trying to live a heart-healthy lifestyle, you might be trying to reduce the eggs. So now today we're going to show you something that is completely vegan and kind of getting scrambled eggs back into your diet. Now, where we're going to have a very interesting conversation is think about breakfast. When we do breakfasts, what kind of breakfast do we have? What do you think of? A lot of people think of pancakes, they think of waffles, they think of danishes. A lot of times you think of scrambled eggs, maybe home fried potatoes. You might even think of donuts. However, when you are now trying to live a vegan lifestyle or do some heart-healthy things, what are some of the proteins that you can get during breakfast? Because you're not eating meat, and some of you may be not trying to eat eggs, this is a great recipe for you. Now, I'm talking today about breakfast. However, this can be eaten all the time. To be honest with you, my husband eats it for dinner because he likes it so much. But let's go to our slides, because I want to tell you some of the wonderful things about this ingredient, turmeric. Turmeric is actually a member of the ginger family. If you ever see turmeric in your spice section in your grocery store, you probably see it as a powder and don't see it as an actual plant. So it is part of the ginger family. So if we go back to the slide, you see this is the actual plant that is being seen there. It is native to the tropic South Asia. And then also, it is gathered annually for its rhizomes. And what a rhizome is it's actually a stem that you find underground. So when you think about ginger, it kind of looks like a root. That's kind of what our turmeric looks like. So if you look at the slide here, you see it actually looks kind of like ginger, but the inside of it is this beautiful, deep orange. And that is the wonderful thing that actually gives turmeric its wonderful color. And in some locations around the globe, you actually see it as a dye. It can be used as a dye. So with this, also with turmeric, you can actually see a lot of health benefits that can actually happen with turmeric. So a lot of the possible health benefits, because science is getting really into this whole turmeric craze and seeing some of the wonderful things it's doing, possible health benefits are Alzheimer's disease, some really great things about cancer we're finding out, arthritis, and it has been shown to be an antifungal and an antibacterial, which can be also great things for your health. So it does some really wonderful things for us, not only tastes good. So then let's go to our recipe so you can see some of the things that we're going to be using today. So for the scramble, we're going to be using purple onion, red bell pepper, orange bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, green bell pepper. So we're taking the whole spectrum of our bell peppers today. We're going to be using fresh garlic and ground garlic. We're going to be using some powdered onion, salt, and this is our wonderful turmeric that we have here. And you see that gorgeous yellow color or orange color that actually turns yellow in the pot. So let's get going here really quickly, and this is a very, very easy recipe that you can actually tweak for your own taste buds. So let's get our onion going here and our stove on. Okay, and we're going to put some olive oil in here just to get some things going and get that all nice and coated in your pan. And we're going to try to heat that up before we get the onion in there. Okay, so let's see if we can just dice this onion really quickly. Okay, and we're using purple onion because it has more color, has a little bit more nutrients than one of the lighter colored onions, but just as good. One of my dietitian friends uses only purple onions because he says it is much better for you. Okay, so we try to get the same size onion pieces in there, and we're going to toss that in to our pan here, and we're going to let that warm up. Okay, I know you're thinking tofu. I don't like tofu. I've heard horrible things about it. I've had a bad experience with it. However, tofu can actually be really, really great. However, you have to season it well. If it's not seasoned properly, a lot of people then get discouraged on, this is supposed to be healthy for me, and then I'm on punishment because I have to eat it. But it's not, it actually can be really good if it's cooked right. So we want to use some fresh garlic in here. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? 2 would be fine with how much we need today. And you can hear our sizzling onions now. And they're going to start popping now. I don't know if you can hear it, but oh, it smells good already. Now, if you want a really good trick when you have guests come over and they think you're doing big things in the kitchen, just put some oil in the pan and start frying up some onions because it's delicious. You'll have people coming into the kitchen just to see what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to do just a rough chop here of the garlic. And you want to get the garlic pretty fine because you don't want someone getting a big mouthful of garlic in here. And again, if you're a garlic lover, put more. I love garlic, so usually I'll put just a few more garlic pieces, but we're going to cook for company today because you're visiting me. Here we go. We're going to get this going. And that's still sauteing. While that's sauteing, we're going to throw some garlic in here now too. I know, you should smell this already. And we haven't even done anything yet. Here we go. Okay, so that's all incorporated now, and we're going to let that sit there for a little while, and we're going to get to our peppers now. So again, we're doing the colors of the rainbow, and if you love bell peppers, absolutely put tons of bell peppers in it, as much as you want. Okay. So we're going to take these kind of veins out of the pepper. We don't want that in there. And we don't want any of the seeds either. And what I'm going to do is dice it. But if you want to get fancy and do long strips of it, you can do that too. But I'm going to just dice it into small little pieces. And again, we're going to get some really great cubes in there. This is really smoking up. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the heat a little bit. But it smells delicious, that's for sure. Okay. So let's get some diced peppers in here. Okay, so that's our red. We're starting the rainbow here. That's our red. Let's get to our orange now. Now, a lot of people, they say, well, what can I do for breakfast that is healthy and delicious and is not always dessert? Because a lot of our breakfasts are desserts, aren't they? They're pancakes and waffles, and some they're coated with sugar or doused in syrup. And this is a nice savory breakfast item that you can have. Okay, so we get our orange in here. Oh, this is really, really smelling delicious. Okay, so we have, if you can see, we can have our beautiful colors looking great together. And we have our yellow. Now, today I'm using peppers as our colors. But again, this is something that you can use some really wonderful things with other vegetables with. You can put carrots in here, you can put tomatoes in here. To be honest with you, if you want to actually add some va-va-voom to this, some spice and heat it up, and you like things hot and spicy, you can actually put some cilantro in here, tomato, and some jalapeno peppers as some of your other colors. So there's so many ways that you can spice this dish up that can be wonderful. So a lot of people, this is kind of a staple in their household if they're living a vegan diet. But for those of you who are new to the scene, I hope you enjoy this recipe because it's a fun, easy way to get your protein in the morning or any time of day. Okay, so we have our red, orange, yellow, and now we're going to do our green. And while this is going on, while you're chopping all of these, make sure your onions are sauteing. So if you can look at our onions, you can see that they're getting a little bit transparent, and that's really what you want to see. So we're just sweating them out a bit. Now, if you like the taste of onion, you definitely want to not saute this as much. However, if you like really cooked onions, which I do, you want to let this sit here for a little while longer. Okay, so these colors are going to start popping really well with the green here. There is one thing about breakfast. I do love breakfast. I can eat breakfast foods at nighttime and be very, very happy. Okay, and so we get the veins out. And as you can see, I am cutting these peppers skin side down. It is a lot easier to do it that way so your knife is not slipping all over the board. Okay. It's a little chop intensive, but it is so worth it. Okay, so here we go. We have red, orange, yellow, green, and in the pan we have our blue and purple. Okay, so now all of this is going to go in the pot. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, get the heat up. We're going to mix that all around. That's a rainbow in our pot here. It looks gorgeous and it smells delicious. Okay, so right now, because we put a whole bunch of cool vegetables in there, you want to turn the heat up and to hear the sizzle back up again. Okay, so once that's in there, what I do want to do is put some seasoning in here. But before that, let's talk about tofu actually. Let's do that first. So these are our tofu blocks. All I did was I drained them. I didn't let them sit for overnight. It was just a simple drain that I did on these tofu blocks. Now there's different ways that you can do this. And I'm going to show you the really clean method of doing this. It's not my favorite, but I will show you. You can take actually a smasher, like a potato smasher. This is a nice sturdy one, and just smash the tofu up into crumbles. And as you can see, this will crumble it fairly well. Get some arm exercises in there too. Okay, so you have some, you're just going to crumble the tofu up because you want to make it look like scrambled eggs. However, if you don't want to dirty another utensil, all you have to do is take it over your pot and then just squeeze it, and it crumbles up really nice that way too. The best utensils are our hands, aren't they? Okay, and it kind of looks like scrambled eggs already, doesn't it? Look at that. Smells delicious in here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape all of this in. Now, tofu you can technically eat raw right out of the little water-packed package it comes with. So when people ask, well, how do you know it's cooked? You know it's cooked when it's the way you like it. So if you kind of like this a little bit damp, that's great. If you like your eggs or your fake eggs a little bit dry, then that's great too. So I kind of like mine a little medium. So you let this sit on the flame or on your stove for as long as you want, as long as it doesn't burn. So you got to watch it. Okay? So now, as most of you know, tofu has a very mild flavor, and it is something that you definitely want to put some seasoning in. And you have to season it heavily because you want to, it doesn't have any flavor of its own. So you want to put all the flavors in that you like. So right now we have the onion and the peppers and the garlic. Now we're going to put in some of our dry ingredients. So this is dehydrated onion powder. So we're going to put that in there. Okay, and I like mine seasoned up well, so we're going to put quite a bit of this. This is also garlic, dried garlic powder. Now, some of you might see in your grocery store, you might see garlic salt. This is plain garlic powder, and I usually tell people don't really buy garlic salt. Garlic salt is garlic powder and salt together. However, I like controlling how much salt is in my food. So if I'm going to put any salt in my food, it's going to be plain old salt so I can monitor how much sodium I'm actually putting in my recipes. Okay, that is looking great. Okay, so at this point we're going to let that sit there a little bit, and we are going to go to our recipe so you can see what our recipe is. So get out your pens and paper. We are going to have the recipe so you can write all of these wonderful ingredients down. Okay, so we have a purple onion in here. We have a red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, a green bell pepper, and fresh garlic, dry onion powder, dry garlic powder. Then we put tofu. Today I used 2 blocks, but you can do as much as you want. And turmeric. Now here is my favorite part of this whole recipe is the turmeric piece, because you can actually see it turn into quote-unquote scrambled eggs. Now, a lot of times what you probably should do is put the turmeric in while you have the oil going, but I purposely left it to the side to show you how gorgeous this color starts being. Now, turmeric has a, you'll see it often in mixtures like curry. You find curry powders and ready-made curry powders in your grocery store. What makes it yellow is the turmeric. So this is straight turmeric, unless you want curried tofu. Okay, so here we're just going to put a little bit on here and see, and you'll see the wonderful color it turns. Okay. Are you seeing it change to yellow? It changes right away. Okay? Actually, I'm going to put more in there so you can see a more dramatic change. Here we go. Look at that. It's turning into eggs right before our eyes. I know. It's impressive. It looks like scrambled eggs. Okay. So now at this point, we're going to let it sit for a little while. And we are going to add some salt. Okay? So now we have a whole bunch of vegetables in there, and we have tofu. So we need to definitely season it through. Okay? So if you're not a salt lover, this is all salt to taste, okay? Wonderful. Getting so excited because it's almost the eating time now. Okay, so now that we have the salt incorporated, we have the turmeric nice and incorporated too. You see how wonderful this looks. So we are going to go to our recipe again, and you can see all of our ingredients on our recipe. We have our purple onion, we have a red bell pepper, we have all of those wonderful ingredients, but let's talk about what are some of the sides that you can put with this. Now, what do you usually eat with scrambled eggs? I like toast. So you can do this with toast, and you can also do it with a tortilla. You can do this on top of brown rice. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So one of the things, though, to get more color on the plate, because this is colorful cooking, and we definitely want to really get our colors all in there, some gorgeous colors. And when I was at the grocery store, I saw some wonderful fruit. So fruit in the morning is also wonderful. So we're going to do a little flip to our cutting board, get to the clean side, and we're going to do a little bit of a fruit salad. Look at these gorgeous strawberries. So we're going to cut some strawberries up while this is all cooking in there. get more color on our plate. Okay, and of course you can do these whole. We're going the extra mile here on colorful cooking. There we go. Can you believe we can do a full breakfast this fast? I know, it's impressive. Okay, so with our plate, what I'm going to do is I am going to actually put some strawberries on our plate so you can see what this looks like. Okay, some strawberries on the side. And to even make it prettier, we got some blueberries, and it's not a lot of food is blue, okay? So when we're doing colorful cooking, it's very hard to get our blue-purple group in, so blueberries, wonderful antioxidant and delicious too. Isn't it wonderful when food that's good for you tastes good too? Okay. Oh, it's looking gorgeous. Okay, so now let's give our little fake eggs another stir. And it smells awesome. Okay. So again, you can do all kinds of things with this recipe. All of this is just a base for all the flavors that you like. What some people also do is they'll do the same thing, and like I told you, you can do tomato and cilantro and jalapeno. Some people actually just use a picante sauce or a salsa that you get right out of the jar. So again, you don't have to do a lot of chopping if you don't want to. All you have to do is throw the salsa in there, and then all you have to do is crumble the tofu in there, and voila, you have something simple for breakfast. And again, also tofu, it also keeps really well. So you can keep this in your refrigerator for a few days even. Okay, we are getting close. Why don't we start plating some of this stuff? Let's move this over. How quick and fast was that? Okay, so we have our tortilla here, and this is actually, and please read your tortillas because not all tortillas are that great for you. This one is a whole wheat tortilla. Now this one is actually a special one that I just found in the grocery store. It actually uses a blend of amaranth and quinoa and whole wheat, and they're about 100 calories per tortilla. Some of them are made with refined wheat, some of them are very high in salt, so you definitely read your labels. Your labels are your best friend when you're going grocery shopping. Okay, so we're going to put this right here in the middle, and look how gorgeous this is with all the peppers and the yellow and the wonderful fruit right there. Okay, that's kind of how it would look with a tortilla, and you can roll this up. And what's great about using it as a tortilla or a little burrito is that you can actually wrap it all up in foil and give it to your children or your spouse, or take it for you in the car. Okay, wrap it up in foil, and it's wonderful. Now this is bread, so this will be our toast, and these are actual, what they call them is they're like bread rounds, and they're 100 calories per two. So that is also a great, if you're trying to watch your waistline, this is a really great alternative to your bread slices. Okay, I'm going to get a big heapful here. Look at how gorgeous this looks. I mean, both plates, delicious, nutritious, and beautiful, if I might say so myself. So let us look at the ingredients one more time. So you get your pens and pencils out, and we're going to look at the ingredients. So we have vegan egg scramble. Can you believe it? Vegan eggs. Purple onion, red bell pepper, orange bell pepper, green bell pepper. Today we used yellow as well. You have fresh garlic, because there's nothing that packs a punch like some fresh garlic, dry onion powder, dry garlic powder, and tofu. And tofu today, I actually use the firm kind. You can use very firm. I wouldn't use the silken tofu or soft tofu for this particular recipe because you want it to keep its integrity in the pot and have kind of that crumbly look. So tofu and that wonderful thing called turmeric. Turmeric, again, wonderful benefits for health we're finding through a lot of research. And then salt to taste. Today our sides were strawberries and blueberries. And again, if you're going through all this trouble to do some healthy, nutritious eggs, quote-unquote eggs, it is also good to have a very healthy side dish. Why have a really unhealthy side dish when you are, doing some wonderful things with a main course here? So again, these tofu eggs, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So isn't the best part of cooking eating? So let's try our wonderful, delicious vegan eggs or fake eggs. Actually, you might not even want to tell people these are fake. Just see what they think. And they might not even call it tofu for that matter. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. You really taste the peppers in here, the sweetness of the onion, and you get that little piece of garlic flavor in there as well. And you get that earthy and kind of bitter taste of the turmeric too. Oh, it's delicious. I am so excited for you to try this at home. You're going to love it, especially if you use all the things that you actually enjoy eating. So again, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The more colors on your plate, the more nutrition on your plate, and the healthier body that you will enjoy every single day. One of the wonderful things about cooking is that you get to eat it too. So again, thank you so much for joining us for our wonderful tofu egg scramble. I'm Dr. Olivia Moses, and this has been Colorful Cooking.